Maximilian Maria Joseph Karl Gabriel Lemoral Reichsfreiherr von und zu Weichs and der Glahn, the 12th of November 1881 to the 27th of September 1954, was a German field marshal during World War II, known for his command roles in several key campaigns. Below is a comprehensive account of his life, based on available historical information, covering his early years, military career, role in World War II, and post-war life. Early life and background. Maximilian von Weichs was born on the 12th of November 1881 in Dessau, in the Duchy of Anhalt, Germany, into a noble Bavarian family with the title of Reichsfreiherr, Imperial Baron. His family's aristocratic status and military tradition likely influenced his career path. Little is documented about his childhood, but growing up in a noble family during the late 19th century would have provided him with a privileged education and early exposure to military culture, common for young men of his social class in Imperial Germany. Early military career. Weichs began his military career in 1900 when he joined the Bavarian Army as an officer cadet in the 2nd Royal Bavarian Heavy Cavalry Regiment. His early service aligned with the traditions of the Bavarian military, which maintained a degree of autonomy within the German Empire. He trained in cavalry tactics, a prestigious branch of the military at the time, and developed skills that would later serve him in the rapidly evolving mechanized warfare of the 20th century. By the outbreak of World War I in 1914, Weichs had risen through the ranks and served in various staff and command roles. During the war, he primarily held staff positions, gaining experience in military planning and logistics. His service on the Western and Eastern fronts exposed him to the complexities of modern warfare, including trench warfare and coordination of large-scale operations. He was awarded the Iron Cross for his contributions, reflecting his competence and bravery. After World War I, the Treaty of Versailles imposed severe restrictions on the German military, reducing it to the 100,000-man Reichswehr. Weichs remained in the military, serving in the Weimar Republic's armed forces. During the interwar period, he continued to climb the ranks, benefiting from his experience and aristocratic connections. He held various staff and training roles, adapting to the new military doctrines emerging in Germany, particularly those influenced by the development of mechanized warfare. Rise in the Wehrmacht in World War II. With the rise of the Nazi regime in 1933 and the rearmament of Germany, Weichs' career advanced rapidly in the expanding Wehrmacht. By 1935, he was promoted to Major General and given command of a cavalry division, which was transitioning to armored units as Germany embraced blitzkrieg tactics. His expertise in mobile warfare made him a valuable asset. Poland and France, 1939–1940. In 1939, at the start of World War II, Weichs commanded the 13th Army Corps during the invasion of Poland. His corps played a role in the rapid German advance, showcasing the effectiveness of blitzkrieg. His performance earned him recognition, and in 1940, he was given command of the 2nd Army for the invasion of France and the Low Countries. The 2nd Army was part of Army Group A, which executed the daring thrust through the Ardennes, leading to the encirclement of Allied forces and the fall of France. Weichs' leadership contributed to the campaign's success, and he was promoted to General of Cavalry and awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross. Balkans and Operation Barbarossa, 1941. In 1941, Weichs commanded the 2nd Army during the invasion of Yugoslavia, where German forces quickly overwhelmed Yugoslav resistance. His army's efficiency in the Balkans further solidified his reputation as a capable commander. Later that year, Weichs played a significant role in Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. As commander of the 2nd Army, part of Army Group Center, he led his forces in the advance toward Moscow. His army participated in major encirclements, such as the Battle of Bialystok-Minsk and the Battle of Smolensk, which destroyed large Soviet formations. However, the harsh Russian winter, logistical challenges, and fierce Soviet resistance halted the German advance. Weichs' leadership was tested as his army faced attrition and supply shortages. Eastern Front and Army Group B, 1942–1943. In 1942, Weichs was promoted to Field Marshal and given command of Army Group B, a critical formation during the German Summer Offensive, Case Blue, aimed at capturing the Caucasus oilfields and Stalingrad. Army Group B included the 6th Army under Friedrich Paulus and the 4th Panzer Army, among others. Weichs oversaw the initial successes of the offensive, as German forces advanced deep into southern Russia. However, The campaign culminated in the catastrophic Battle of Stalingrad, 1942–1943. Weichs' Army Group B was stretched thin, and the encirclement of the Sixth Army in Stalingrad became a turning point. Weichs advocated for a breakout attempt, but Hitler's insistence on holding the city led to the Sixth Army's destruction. Weichs faced immense pressure coordinating relief efforts, such as Operation Winter Storm, which failed to break the Soviet encirclement. The defeat at Stalingrad marked a strategic disaster for Germany, and while Weichs was not directly blamed, his reputation was affected. Later war years, 1943–1945, after Stalingrad, Weichs continued to command Army Group B, which was reorganized and redeployed to southern Russia and Ukraine. He led defensive operations against the resurgent Red Army, including during the Battle of Kursk, 1943, where German forces failed to regain the initiative. His health began to decline, and in 1943, he was transferred to command Army Group F in the Balkans, a less intense theater. As Commander-in-Chief Southeast, he oversaw operations against Yugoslav partisans and prepared defenses against potential Allied invasions. In 1944, as the German front collapsed, Weichs' role diminished. He was briefly placed in the Führer Reserve, a sign of reduced confidence from Hitler's headquarters. In 1945, he was recalled to command Army Group E in the Balkans, managing the retreat of German forces as the Red Army and Allied forces closed in. He surrendered to American forces in May 1945, marking the end of his active military service. Post-war life and legacy. After Germany's surrender, Weichs was arrested and held as a prisoner of war. He was investigated for war crimes, particularly due to his role in the Balkans, where German forces committed atrocities against civilians and partisans. However, he was not charged or tried, likely because he was primarily a field commander rather than a direct orchestrator of war crimes. He was released in 1948. Weichs retired to private life in West Germany, living quietly in Cologne. He avoided public attention and wrote no memoirs, leaving little personal reflection on his wartime role. He died on the 27th of September 1954 at the age of 72. Personal life. Little is known about Weichs' personal life. As a member of the Bavarian nobility, he likely married within his social class, but specific details about his family, spouse, or children are scarce in historical records. His life was defined primarily by his military service, and he maintained the reserved demeanor typical of professional soldiers of his era. Assessment and legacy. Maximilian von Weichs was a competent and professional officer who rose through the ranks due to his skill in mobile warfare and staff work. His leadership in Poland, France, and the early stages of Barbarossa demonstrated his ability to manage large formations effectively. However, his tenure as commander of Army Group B during Stalingrad highlighted the limitations of German strategy and his inability to counter Hitler's micromanagement. Weichs was not a prominent figure in Nazi ideology or politics, focusing instead on his military duties. His role in the Balkans raises questions about his complicity in German occupation policies, but he was never formally implicated in war crimes. His post-war obscurity reflects his desire to distance himself from the Third Reich's legacy,